have you got?
Jukes. I see someone, but I don't think they're alive.
This house is clean.
Jumpy.
Another dead zone. The only thing alive in here is the smell.
They're not coming back.
Well, if you're gonna ride out the apocalypse, no better way to do it than with some castles and crusades.
Hey, you too. Take only what you need.
Once spoken is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices the castle takes shape. Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape. A story once
Trollord Games. Join the fray.
are live. It is November 12th, 2024. And this is Ask Me Anything. I'm Steve Chenault, CEO of Troller Games. If you have any questions about anything, Kickstarters to whatever we're doing, to whatever we're not doing, throw them up here in the chat, and we will we'll do our best to tackle each one of them. But yeah, you know how that goes. Nice graphics, excellent. Is that my alien on the wall behind me? How's it going, Commander Pete? Haven't seen you in a while. Brevin and Stormrider 7. Very cool. Glad everybody could join us today. We are going to do like I said, a rambling stream of whatevers.
I've got some bad
we
news.
Have questions already?
I've got some bad news for you. No.
What's that?
Lando's here, and he didn't even bother to get you a TLG Dr. Pepper. I know. I cannot
crazy.
believe it.
What's the world coming to?
I don't know what's happening here. I just don't know. I didn't see it, Lando. I'm looking. Oh shit, he did. Never mind. I was way back early. Okay. All right. I retract my statement. It's because I'm sick. It's my fault.
Did I get a Dr. Pepper? I didn't see it.
No, it was early. Now Cador's trying to roll in on the action. It's good to see everybody. Now, we got 2 questions coming up already in the queue. First one is from Bifford, one of our fellers. He runs the forum. He's wanting to know when you think the forums will be back, if ever.
So, the forums were a ginormous. There were 2 problems we had with them. And for those who don't know, this is the old forums that we set up after the old forum, which you can actually see the original forums. You can see, I think they're linked on our website. That'll take you back to through, what is that? Not web crawler, whatever that thing is, the Wayback Machine or something.
Yeah.
Well, those forums were replaced by a second set of forums that kind of green in color. And Bifford's been running those these last couple of years, and they were, very, very active forever and a day. But they are proved to be, they proved to be a gigantic security risk and because of that, devourer of souls. It was wrecking our website continually. We were going down probably once every 2 weeks for a few hours to a couple of days because of the amount of usage that, I guess, the bots that were attacking the forums, because there were so many whatevers, insert your internet jargon, programmer stuff. So the forums became a huge problem. And I told Monica to just shut them all down. And they're still there. She just took them off the website, encapsulated them, put them somewhere else where I don't know what's going to happen next. We either have to host them somewhere else, in which case I'm assuming they're going to still be a problem, or we'll do it. We'll lock it and link it some other way. I haven't quite decided yet. So the forums are probably a dinosaur, and they're not really going to come back in any kind of form. Maybe, but it is unlikely. We can't keep throwing company resources at those poor, sad old forums. What's the next one, Chuck?
Well, I was going to make a comment and say too, and that's the same way with the Knights of Crusades forums. They got to where you couldn't even post there. It was so bad, right? But at the very least, I want to make sure that if we do, we'll archive them. At least people will be able to go in there and read stuff and look it up. I still want to be able to do that, even if we can't use the functionality of it.
I don't even remember very much conversation on the Knights of the Crusade forums.
But I will say this. I'll say this. I do have another idea that I've been working on. I hadn't told you about this yet, but there is a way to set up parts of the Discord to be forums now. That's something fairly new they've done recently. It's even better. So that might be something we might look at doing too, because that's something that I don't think will, But anyway. So
what was the next question?
Never mind. That's Jeremy. Have you picked a movie yet?
I have not picked a movie yet. I don't know. I hadn't even thought about it really, Jeremy. It's a great idea, but right now I'm working on the catalog. Steve, they will come back even though I hosted myself.
John,
I appreciate your loyalty to the forums there, Bifford. I do.
And DMJ John, which I replied to your question on the YouTube channel, which that reminds me, I need to tell you something. But he wants to know the next CZ Kickstarters. The first one's going to be, or next, whatever you want to call it, would be February, right? Zaggy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we will have a Kickstarter for the first chunks of the Castle of Zaggy. February 11th is what we're looking at. Is the most likely date that we may move that around that time frame. I'll pin that down in the next couple of weeks without a doubt.
And let's see, got some comments here coming across. Let's see. New guy in chat. Pepatronic 1. This is the first meeting I've been to. I thought it would be more exciting. Where is the combat, the magic, the adventure? It's all talk.
What's up with that? It's crazy.
Stephen
Well, we do
Chenault.
have. Wait, I got it. I got you covered, man.
Oh, God. Here we go. I know what you're going to do.
There is the adventure. The UFOs are upon us.
Oh, Jesus.
Listen to this.
He said Stephen Chenault sounds like Joe Bob Briggs.
There you go.
Let's see. Dick Mustang over in Instagram says, ready for that PHP PDF? Right on, man.
Yes,
right on.
That will be probably Thursday. I was shooting for Tuesday, but other things got in the way. And tomorrow we're having a company meeting. I got to catch everybody up with everything that we're going on, and that's going to take a little while. So my guess is, I think it's about 9 or 10 PDFs, 7, 8, 9, 10 PDFs that we got to get to you guys, both Amazing Adventures and from Reforged.
Well, the AA stuff's out. The AA stuff's out.
No, not the latest.
Oh, not the no. I forgot about that. Oh shit, there's like, oh yeah.
Even the player's handbook and the Chronicle Keeper's Guide had some minor changes at the end.
Oh,
so
that's right.
Generate new PDFs and get those to the backers and get all that stuff out. So
I saw it, Lando, and it's in my queue. I've just been out sick, but I'll get to it tomorrow. I should be on deck some tomorrow. I'll get it done this week. I promise you. I'll look at it. Actually, it won't take that long. I remember what it is now. You need your links. That's no big deal. I'll get that to you, buddy. Give us a Kickstarter project rundown now, says Winter. Now. What's up, Alan? Put this in here.
All right. So what was the next question?
Now look at me.
Kickstarter rundown. I can do a quick Kickstarter rundown. Let me open that up. So I've got those things all kind of lined up, and I can read them in a row, which makes it easier on my very sad brain pan. And of course, I've been logged out somehow for the 915th trillion time. We will start with the oldest. So the Adventurer's Armory, we have only the orcs left to do to get the Monsters Armory art all done. Once that's done, it all goes into editing, and we'll begin to finalize that book. And Finn has finalized the Adventurer's Armory. We still have to plug the last edits in, and kind of there's a few blank pages. I got to move some stuff around on that. So that's got to get cleaned up. War Mounts is done. So the Armory books are, I'm really hoping, a couple of weeks out from going to the printers. The Infernum and the Codex Exaltum, this is the one that's struggling the most. The primary artist on Infernum, Zoe, got ill, and it's kind of knocked her out of doing some of the art that she was scheduled to get done in the last couple of weeks. And Jason is really working hard to merge a bit of Arian lore with the Exalted book, so he's kind of struggling there. So both of those books are kind of they're wrestling with their place in the stable there. Hermit, we're going to probably start shipping the Hermit next week. We are not going to have the slipcase nor the screens done by next week, but I think we're going to start shipping all of the smaller pledges, the lower dollar value pledges that don't have those extra things into them. And there's about 400 of those. So start getting those out and get those out of the way. By the time the slipcase and the screens arrive, then we can start fulfilling the whole thing after that. The World Builders Archive. This is all primed. I think they're all ready to go to Finn's desk for the final edits. And I sent over the second cover that will be the Essential Facts and Things. That went to Jason this morning, so he's begun work on that. And we are on target for doing a first quarter release next year. He's got 10 covers to knock out. He'll knock out one every 7 to 10 days. So that should land us perfectly by the time we get back from editing to roll these things into layout and then release them about the time the Castle Zagig Kickstarter closes down, would be my guess. And Reforge, we've got, I've actually got ship dates if I can open that quickly without boring you all. Now, this is not ship dates to you guys. This is ship dates to Troll Lord Games. So they still have to arrive here. And once they've arrived here, we've got to, get them stored away, inventoried, and all that crazy BS that you do with these things. Where is Felicia's email? It is here. It looks like the Player's Handbook will ship on the 23rd of November to us, and the Castle Keeper's Guide will ship on the 27th of November to us. and the Monsters and Treasures will ship on the 4th of December to us. So we will begin probably by the 6th or 7th, give or take, weekend or whatever's going on. We will get to start rolling those things out to backers as quick as we can. It will not have Beneath the Canopy Green screens and the Beneath the Canopy Green with it. Those we will ship later to backers. We are still struggling with the maps on those and the art. I think we're about halfway through. Maps, we'll just see 7 left on that. But there you go. That's your quick rundown of all our Kickstarters. We are hoping by the end of the year that the Hermit, the Armory, and Reforged are well under their way, heading your direction in one form or the other. Just in time for Christmas. Yep. We got any questions pile up while I did that rundown?
Yes, sir. Let's see. Reverend Dark still asks, will the codex, with the codex, will they be set as outer planar or aspects of the prime like an Off-Drake seems to be?
The Codices, the Mythos series?
I think he's talking about the codex of the planes.
Codex of the Plains will actually, it's going to be a rather involved volume that covers all of the outer planes. So you can take whatever world you're using, Aird, Greyhawk, Forgotten Realms, whatever, Eberron, whatever it is, and these planes are going to fit around it. It'll have the elemental planes, the outer planes. All of these things will be discussed in about, I think each one's about 7,000 to 10,000 word entry, if I remember. This is about 5 to 7, 8, 10 pages, give or take, with art and whatnot. And each one will come with a ready-made chart that you can go into so that you can learn about the plane without reading all of that content. Yeah, it'll cover all of your planar needs, and the Rings of Brass will be in there as well.
Okay. Next question would be from Kamikaze83. Says, it's been a while since I've been onto one of these, so I apologize if this has been asked a lot. What's the plan for the planar handbook?
Yeah, there you go. So that got interrupted, obviously, last year by the OGL, as many of us know. I think I want to say about halfway through it, maybe a third. I haven't looked at it in a couple of months, but it is on the short list at long last. I will finish the anecdotes for the catalog tomorrow, and after that, my writing is open and free. I'm debating as to whether we're going to do a Christmas adventure, and I may write that up in the next 7 to 10 days. I can't decide if I want to jam that into the already busy writing schedule, or if I want to jump onto the Codex of the Plains and the novella that I'm working on. But I expect to be back on that any day now. The Codex, start hammering it out and have it. I want it to be written and done by probably February 1st timeframe, somewhere around in there, which I think is very, very conceivable.
Yeah. All right. And Braver was talking about the Infirm and the Celestials, what he was talking about, which I think that's what you answered with, right? I think.
He was talking about what?
Infernum and
so those books, I don't want to put a release date on those yet. I mean, obviously, I'd like to get them out sooner than later. They're very delayed at this point. But the art continues to be devilish at every corner. Arts and maps. Every project needs so much art, and it's a huge amount of it. And we've brought in a huge number of artists to help speed things along, but it's still not enough. Part of this is going full color. Part of it is the Monsters and Treasure book required, I don't know, yeah, that's Jeremy. I think it was 150 odd color pieces, which really kind of ate up a lot of time and energy. So that's kind of inflicted us. And then we've had a couple of us, personal issues with the artists that we work with, have kind of gotten, some issues that they need to take care of. So there's just been a lot, going on around that. So the Infernum and Exaltum, the plan is, the Infernum is written. Exaltum, I'm not certain how much Jason has written. We talk about it about every other day. So I know he's moving on it as quick as he can. And then it's going to be an art issue after that. And once they release, the hope is to have them done and out before I really finalize the Codex of the Plains, because those are a little bit of a linchpin. We want to make certain that we go back in to each of these entries and make sure whatever plane they're attached to, that it lines up with what I've put in the Codex of the Plains. So that's all kind of doable in the next 6 to 8 weeks, I think, I would suspect. And the nice thing is with each of these projects that gets finished, the core books are done now. The core books for Amazing Adventures are done now. Each one that gets finished and goes off to the printers frees us up for a little bit more work on these other projects. I hope I answered that question. I feel like I rambled around there.
Let's see. Donkey Juice asks, are the PDFs released when they're sent to printing or when they first usually when I usually say, well, usually when we start shipping the books, right?
Yeah, so what we'll do, generally speaking, our policy is once 50% of a Kickstarter is released, at that point, anyone who backed the Kickstarter is going to have the final PDF. And we put the PDF and the print book up for sale on the website so people can go buy it. And we don't ship the physical copies until the Kickstarter is fulfilled. So if it takes us another 10 days, say, to fulfill a Kickstarter, your book may sit there for 10 days before it ships. But the PDF, of course, will ship immediately. That's an immediate download when you buy it.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Stormrider 7 from YouTube asks, what cons are you thinking of attending in 2025? Will your team be running some games at the mall?
Chuck, that is an answer. That is a question for you. Just rattle those off.
Let me look at my list, actually. I don't have it up right now. Well, I can tell you right now off the top of my head. So in January, we're going to Page. February, I have not told Steve this, but I've purposely left it empty because of Castle Zygig, and I can't imagine with us having to do Gary Con, and there's something else in March going on around that time that we'll do anything else but maybe possibly go to the Gamma Trade Show, which is not really a con for the public. Let's see. And then we've got coming up Dicon in Collinsville, Indiana after that. I know we're going to go to Origins. We're going to go to Gen Con. We're going to go to let me think here. I'm trying to think. And then that's right off the top of my head without looking at the list. But just about something about every 6 weeks or so, honestly. And some of those will be things where we'll be bringing people to run games. Will be places where we'll be asking people to run games for us. And then, and so forth. We'll try to have games at any of the cons we go to. If we have a booth there, we definitely need to have games there. We agreed to that correlation. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's the hope.
That's the hope. In fact, funny you should say that. I done forgot the command. I don't think this is it, though. No, that's not it. Well, that'll work. We're looking for GMs for GaryCon right now. So if you really want to run some games at GaryCon, reach out to us. I've got badges I can give you. I can get you a badge to get in there. There's some other perks too. We've got shirts coming we do every year for the program, and we've also got some discounts, some swag, and then I'm gonna give some store credit and stuff. We're trying to get all that worked out. I'm sorry, yeah, we're trying to get all that worked out so we can move ahead with it. But anyway, that's all we got on that. Next question.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Someone called us on something. What about the Gygax world building books from HHWJ over at YouTube?
I'm hoping that those, and currently they're on target to go to the printers in March of next year. It's kind of critical that we get them to the printers in March. If we delay that much beyond that, like say May, then it gets caught up in yearbook season. So we want to get those out. We want to get it to the printers. I'd like them to the printers before the Castle Zygig Kickstarter closes. That would be very good. And we're well underway towards that happening. So I'm pleased with that.
And let's see. Torlock says, what's the plan with the UFO talk show?
Chuck and I talked about that today. So we one of the things I get tired of around here is us talking about doing things and not doing them. So last night at about 5:00, I texted Grace, who does a reading every Monday night on the channel here in Aridian Reading, and told her that I want to do the aired Q&A right after her reading. So we set that up and got that done. And I suspect that's where the UFO thing is going to fall in. Chuck and I were talking about it a little bit more, and then I'm just going to say we're doing it right now. Just do it and get it done, because I want to do it. Chuck wants to do it. You guys want to see it done. It's going to be a lot of fun. So in the very, very near future, we'll pin it down and start talking UFOs. I mentioned yesterday in the stream that I've run out of UFO books to read. I got to get back onto a Biblio and find a whole new crop of books to read. I'm taking a brief UFO hiatus. I'm reading Lord of the Rings Fellowship right now.
I saw that. I laughed.
Yeah, so just give my brain a retool for a moment. But I got to find some more books to read to get back into it. But I've read a lot. I think we got a lot to talk about. So it'll be a lot of fun. So very, 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 very soon.
Yeah.
Next to your chat in one easy step. The UFO stuff is awesome, Jeremy. It's just absolutely awesome.
It is, but I understand. I read that whole book, Project Blue Book, and I kind of had to take a little swing off. I can't imagine you reading it all the time. I mean,
it's actually the subject's very frustrating because like I've been trying to listen to a lot of podcasts and watch some of these documentaries, and it seems like 90% of the people who discuss UFOs are really just discussing the discussing of UFOs. They talk about the history of the discussing of UFOs,
Yep.
and it's this. Okay, but what happens on March 4th? You know,
Right. Yeah.
Let's break it down and then go to the next one. So it's difficult. Even that book I finished, Lou Alazandio's book, and it was basically just an autobiography. But these are the things I'd like to talk about. One of the things that Tim and I talked about, because Tim's interested in this too. Tim Burns, who used to work for us, still does some light editing for us now and again. Still a very, very good friend of mine. We talked about setting up a website that's got just it's a bibliography of UFO stuff, and with a very one or two sentence review saying, "Hey, this book is this if you want to read this, if you want to find out this," and that type of stuff. So soon, very, very soon. Thank you for the subscription. Sumara Kafahara. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's he's running a new CNC game every Saturday night on Twitch for us, and we're sponsoring. So he's a good guy. Good guy.
Well, someone responded, we got the licensing page updated and all that's put up together for the new licenses and all that stuff, and with the OGL stuff cleaned down a bit. And someone mentioned over on the Discord about doing podcasts for CNC podcasts. If anyone out there want to do some podcasts, let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking to Johnny Omaha. We're gonna get him set up something too.
Johnny Omaha, excellent.
So next question. This is from Starlaw on YouTube. Starlaw says, "What company could be the best to do a boxcar children RPG, kids solving mysteries?"
What company? Well, the Siege Engine would work very well for that. So Troller Games could definitely do something like that. We've done one game geared toward children, Harvesters.
Which actually nowadays I'm not sure if that would even. I think that would probably apply to a lot of people because I've had the last few times I've ran it, I've had tables of adults playing it. So it's like
I think even when we released it 10 years ago, it was
yeah, that's for sure. Let's see. Bicky Mall asks, "I see the old school D&D books in the shelf behind you. Which of those helped inspire your art choices for CNC? Also, greetings from one of the Tennessee Three." Oh, cool.
Oh, how's it going, man?
That's wild.
Very, very cool to see you or hear you again, I suppose. Very nice. So the art from the old school stuff, the covers, the DMG, I absolutely loved with the Efreet on it. Absolutely love that cover, and I love the jewel and the eye cover. Just really cool stuff. Probably my favorite Player's Handbook cover was the blue PHB, the AD&D PHB. That's kind of got that swirl of sorcery with the wizard stepping out of it. He's got the long white beard, and Chuck is giving it down. I absolutely love that picture.
I love the ones that I grew up with the very first time.
Yeah. I absolutely love that picture. And ironically, I never liked the Monster Manual picture. I never liked that one. And that's one of the reasons that when we were doing the homage covers, the homage covers that we did for the PHP, CKG, M&T, that was the last one we did because I wasn't going to do it because I didn't like the cover. So I'm going to do it. But so many people asked for that cover that we dove into it. As for art inspiration from the old school, I think it's the pieces. Darlene's pieces were really, really cool. Those pieces that kind of, that were less cartoonish, I think I really, really like the Fiend Folio. And I didn't care for any of the art in the Fiend Folio. It's good art, but it wasn't quite. I love Hatchwork art, which I think that's what that's called. But it wasn't quite my cup of tea. I'm trying to think some of the pictures that I absolutely loved in the Monster Manual. There were a bunch of them in the Monster Manual. But really, if you want to talk old school inspirational art, it's going to come from Ardu and Gamor. The art and the Ardu and Gamor stuff, and that put out by We Warriors, the Dwarven Glory, stuff like that. The art, especially on the Dwarven Glory. Chuck, can you find a copy of that online? The original Dwarven Glory. It's I've got it somewhere around here. It's two or three dwarves sitting on a mountain of treasure, and it is just for me as a.
I've got it right here. I think you talking about the old one that came out with the wee ones or whatever.
Yeah,
I got it right here.
The Dwarven Glory.
I got it.
Chuck's gonna put it up, but that piece of art is just. That's the type of art I absolutely love the most because the detail in it is just It's just through the roof. And when I was young, it captured my attention, fired my imagination, and it does it still now. So anything like that. Jason Walton is just absolutely fantastic art like that. It's just the details. I love to look at something once and see stuff, and then look at it again a year later and see different stuff. I think it's just very
Oh
cool.
yeah, for sure. I'm gonna throw it up right now on your left shoulder. Actually, here you go, folks. There's what it looks like.
Yeah, and that book too is badass.
Oh yeah,
The
I've got
whole
one
thing.
of them. I want all of them, but I don't know if I ever get them or not though.
Yeah, Biggie Ma, spot on. It is great. Biggie Ma says it is great. It suggests a story beyond the image, which is key. Yeah, absolutely. There's more going on than just whatever's happening. And I love Frazetta. Don't get me wrong. Frazetta has those swirls of color behind his action, and it captures things like Conan very, very well. But I want more. I want more kind of leaping off of the page at me. And that picture that Chuck has put up there, right there, is probably one of the most inspirational pictures that led into the creation of the world of Aird and the importance of dwarves in it, because that picture set me off as a young gamer back in the 1970s, mostly playing dwarves. The dwarves were badass.
Really?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that. Or
I
maybe
everything about that picture. Yeah. I'm a huge fan, and that's what plays, as you know, Chuck, because you've read the Codex Verde. The dwarves play a huge role in it.
do they? Do they really?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
My favorite part about that, Stephen, is when I'm talking to me about Aird, and I tell them that that elves actually came from a different place. They showed up on the planet. They weren't the typical starting, and everybody's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah, the elves are really the outliers, and no one really likes them.
Yeah, they're kind of they're different. That's for sure. They remind me a lot of the elves, and the elves how the elves were currently during the Hobbit. At that point, they were all like, "Screw the world," or whatever.
Yeah, the elves are interesting for me from a gamer's perspective, because I kind of got this two warring factions in my mind of influences, and one is Tolkien, a gigantic J.R. Tolkien fan, and his elves are almost untouchable, except maybe in, what was it, King Arthur, the Broken Sword. And the elves and Tolkien stuff are just really, really cool. But on the other hand, there was this magazine, I'm like 90% certain it's still out there today, called ElfQuest. Started in the 80s, I think. And the elves are small, and they're just really cool, wild, sort of, almost feral. And I like, somewhere in the middle, I want them to meet, I think. But
I got a little addition to that, adding on to that thing about that. Beaky had asked about Googling for it. I grabbed that picture off of Drive Through RPG, so you can order it over there. I think even on print on demand, it looks like.
I think someone re-released those. Not like 5 or 6
it's over on PDF. I guess you can't do print on demand, but it's got the PDF version.
Really, Lando? That is very cool. I'm gonna check into that. ElfQuest was just really good reading. I mean, it was just, the art was great, the stories were cool, the characters were great. It's just great stuff. Just great stuff.
All right, so Alan Rose says, Stephen, are you heading over in time for Dragon Meet? You mentioned it was a possibility.
It was a possibility, Alan, but it is no longer a possibility. That has left. We thought that was going to happen, but there's all kinds of issues with green card and blah 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 blah. That we have to sort our way through first before we do a return trip to the United.
Yes. Let's see. Scarlet Watch question: are there any plans for VT support for Amazing Adventures?
Yes, there are. We've got those in the works. I shouldn't say in the works. They're kind of behind. Once the core books are done, and Chuck's been pushing this for several years to do a Siege engine VTT in both Foundry and Fantasy Grounds and all over the place.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely on the docket. And one of the things we've all talked about here at TLG in the past several months is we want Amazing Adventures to get the same amount of attention that Castles and Crusades does.
Right.
It's a fantastic game. Jason has done a great job with it. The art looks great. Everything's great about that game. So we want that to kind of propel forward, just like CNC did. So the VTT will definitely be a part of that.
Okay.
I can't put a time frame on that, but
we got so much. And then now I've got people asking me about Gygax stuff and all this other wild stuff. I'm just like, Codex the Plane. I'm just like, oh my God. Let's see. Mickey Mouse says, it's a comment on earlier. I've got a super weird dossier a guy gave my mom years ago. I can bring it to Gary Country. Want to check it out? It's odd to say the least about aliens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see that stuff.
Like you're going to say no. Nah, I ain't
What
gonna
I'd
try.
like to do is actually start publishing some of this stuff. My wife and I looked at, we were talking about publishing Project Blue Book, the whole thing, but it's like 35,000 pages of content.
Oh my
It's
God.
a huge amount. But how cool would that be to be able to go and read the Air Force files on Operation Blue Book?
That would be cool. And that's a cool ass book. I will give you that. I'm glad you recommended that to me. It's a really good book.
Oh, that's the one written by Rupert. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Let's see.
No, we were doing as is, Jeremy.
Oh, Airmile. Let's see. No, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Jacob Zimrin from over in YouTube. Does Aird have a version of the Holy Roman Empire? Have you had earlier canons in a game setting? Something kingdoms can use, but players outside of horror wouldn't be able to use. I see.
So we definitely have a Holy Roman Empire. The new Aeonach is the Holy Roman Empire. Basically, you got the Empress and the 7 electors who elect the Empress, and the whole kind of internal struggle there in the Codex is her trying to cajole, convince, or browbeat the electors into securing the throne for her daughter. Right. So definitely the Holy Roman Empire. That whole nation state was, inspired by the Holy Roman Empire, which I find it to be an extremely fascinating period in history. What was the second part of that question?
He was just making a comment. He said, have you had early cannons in a game setting? Something kingdoms can use, but players outside of horror wouldn't be able to use.
Oh yeah, there's all kinds of things in the Codex that I wouldn't pass them on to the players, but that would be up to you if you wanted to do that. There's just the Cunea, Usum Usquam, the Crown. There's just all kinds of stuff in there that I would not push into the players' camp. But everybody's game is a little different, and if they want to go that route, that's very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what's the next question?
Give me just 1 second. I want to, if I can figure out how to make this work, I want to take just for a second here, guys, and put this link in the chat for you guys. So if you're more interested in learning about Aird, like we talked about at the beginning of the stream, we have a new thing going on now on Monday nights, right after Grace's fiction reading. If you want to hop in, listen to her read some fiction from the world of Aird, and then we're going to be talking about Aird for the next millennium. So hop over. We'll be taking questions, sharing up. We're going to try to actually do more than just a normal sit back and talk about. We're going to break it down a little bit and find some areas to talk about, because it seems to be a pretty exciting thing. If you guys want to get in on that action, you can also ask questions over here in our Discord right there. Please feel free. There's a channel just for the world of Aird, and Steve haunts that channel, so you can go over there and ask him there as well. Yep. We had our first one last night, but it was just our first run. I wasn't even here. I was in the land of darkness. So,
well, like I said, I was sitting there thinking we got to get these streams, and it was pissing me off that we hadn't done it. So I just texted Grace and said, "Are you around?" She said, "Yeah, I'll run the stream afterwards," because Chuck was in the land of Nod.
The land of. All right, let's see. Airmile says, "Have you ever tried playing an RPG solo? I recently checked out 4 Against Darkness, a real fun game."
I never have, actually. That's interesting. I know Davis has. Davis has done quite a bit of that.
Yeah, I've played a little bit. I actually wrote one for 5e, 7-8 years ago or something.
I think I have
an adventure. Sorry, an adventure, not a game.
Yeah, I think I have a solo adventure that Jim Ward wrote before he passed in our stable that we hadn't got around to publishing. I think he finished that. I'd have to look.
All right. Okay. Savage Splendor says, possible names for Gamma World homage setting: Gamma Lords or Gamma Trolls.
The funny thing about names like that, you just, for my money, and this is just me because I grew up with this stuff, so it's difficult, to break from the past sometimes, like a Bifford and the forums. The Gamma World is the perfect name. It's just the perfect name. It's like Mind Flayer. We have struggled and struggled and struggled to come up with a better name than Mind Flayer, or one at least equivalent. And I don't know what we eventually settled on, but it clearly wasn't as memorable as Mind Flayer. There's just some names that are just spot on, and Gamma World is one of those. And I don't even know why. I don't even know what a gamma ray is. I know it's something. Jerry's like, thanks, David. Yeah, I can't even. What was it, Jeremy? I can't even remember what it was.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You wrote it so well, Jerry.
Yes, it's embedded in our brains.
Squidward.
That'll teach you how to talk to me in a few
But
days.
Gamble World is one of those names. It's just, it's just.
Let's yeah. All right, so and also, guys, anybody who's watching and listening to the stream, if you watch the playback on on YouTube or wherever, I know there's been people commenting wishing we get cheaper prices to other places in the world, or especially over in Europe. Please check out GMS. There's the link in the chat right there. A lot of people still don't know about it. In fact, I want you to go over there and comment on the video that was on there last night because somebody was talking about the prices were too much, and they don't have no clue still about that. And that's a fairly new program we have with them, but it's important. You guys that want to save money, I get it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Donkey Juice asks a more mechanical question. How does minor major image? It's the question that came up the other day in Discord. You can answer it. Okay. Well, I don't know if you can answer it or not. We can get it out of the book and look and see.
Yeah, I can try. What's the question?
How does minor/major image damage work? They say. See, he's not seen the new one. In the new PHB, it's fixed, but. They say creatures who view the illusion believe it and can suffer damage from illusions. There's no list of damage. So if I made an illusion of the bullet, it would do a 4d12 for its bite. But now I can actually, I can, you want me to take a screenshot and throw it in, I can't do that either. It's in the new PHB.
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to do the damage that the spell.
Well, the spell, right? The current, in the 9th printing back, there is nothing about that.
What does it say in the 10th printing?
You're going to ask me that shit. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I can open it up.
You got it right there. Yeah, have at it.
I do not have it right here, but I do have the PDF that I.
Well, that's what I was going to grab as a PDF.
And yeah, Jeremy may know off the top of his head.
It's quite a lengthy entry. I will say that much.
Is it?
Yeah, because the first one didn't have any information like that in it. So Jeremy,
That was called Image. Is that right?
Major Image is the one I looked at. I didn't. I didn't.
It's
look
called
at the
Illusion now.
Yes, it's called Image. It's minor or major image. I don't know who thought that name up. I can't tell you. Anyway.
Oh, it's probably Jeremy.
Yeah, it was Jeremy, actually. We wanted to keep it the same, but he wouldn't listen to us. So.
Jeremy, there is no major image in the book.
Look up image, major, however y'all do it. I can't remember now.
I thought we changed that to illusion.
I mean, it might be. I might be wrong now because I had both books open looking. So I think it might be illusion, actually. I think you're right.
Yeah, there's no major.
It's illusion. I'm almost positive we did change it to that now.
Okay, so it is illusion. So let's get to illusion.
Yeah, we combined them into one spell. That's what it was. Major illusion or just illusion. Maybe it is. It is. That's it. It's just illusion. Jesus, I got it now.
We're getting there. We trolls
I'm
are slow.
have COVID out here anyway. I can't remember 2 days ago, let alone last week.
So it's going to do, if you're third level casting, when casting as a third level, it's as a third level spell slot. So you're going to be like 5th level, I guess. It's going to do 1d8 points of damage per round. So the spell would not actually inflict the amount of damage that, so if you summoned a boulet, the spell would not actually inflict the actual damage that a boulet would do, but it still would damage whoever believes that the boulet is attacking them for 1d8 points of damage. And the person being attacked would probably just assume, since they failed their saving throw, would probably just assume that they were lucky and that this giant creature did not do, it's the full wrath of its damage upon them.
Took a couple questions real quick, or comments. Rick Montel wrote in and said, "I'll be thinking about you guys at Lambert's tonight. Going in now, Trolls Eye." I know, right?
Lambert's.
Sean O'Don says he loves how the illusion spell is being elusive. Anyway. Let's see. Commander Pete says, "What's the coolest thing that's happened in a recent game?"
We haven't played in like 3 months, so for me to conjure
I can tell a story because I play like a regular normal gamer.
Yeah, let's get Chuck can throw something in there.
Let's see the coolest story. I'll tell you the best story I can tell you. I've told this story a lot this year. It was the best story I can tell you as a game I ran at GaryCon for it was a 12-person game up there, and Omote's crew was there, and all those guys that actually tested the first PHB, they made up like 9 of that table, or maybe 8 of that table, And they all had, everybody at that table except 2 people had boons in their books, by the way. Thanks. It's my fault. But needless to say, they were going through White Blue Mountain, and I always switch it up. And he was trying to prove to the group that the whole thing was an illusion. He jumped off the side of the volcano, and it wasn't. And they had tied a rope around his wrist, and I made sure of it, and it jerked his arm loose. And so he fell, and in the rocks below, they managed to get his body back, pulled his arm up. Then they tried to resurrect him and turned him into a Death Knight. It was really cool, and they all ran like hell. Cool. So it was great.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
I think the last game that I ran was a giant aerial adventure. They have the characters have a small island north of Unvaulted that they have fortified, and they're waging a pirates' war against the orcs of Unvaulted. So there was a wizardly battle in the air above the island, which is pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Oh, I thought you told me they were doing something underwater now. No, they're doing pirates or something, right? Aren't they doing a water?
Yeah, well, they've got these 8 ships. They're building a small fleet to destroy Unvaulted.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. So, and the ships are expensive, and they have no money. So there's this big.
That's awesome! Oh my god, you guys let me just like remote in and watch one day. That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, let's see. Aaron asks, what coffee mug is so important that it takes up that much bookshelf space behind you on the bottom shelf? Bookshelf space is sacred in my house.
Oh.
He's called you.
It's funny you should say that. You can't see it. Well, my new bookshelves are on.
You had those. Oh, I thought you were replacing those. I was wondering what you were doing. Okay.
No, I got 2 new
I know why you're
bookshelves.
keeping that one, because that's an old one. I know that's what that is.
So this is one of the original coffee mugs put out by Trollord Games back in like 2001 or 2002. I believe Cafe Press did these. And I think this is the last one. All the money in there. So I think that's the last one that I have. And look, it's faded. You can tell. And there's not been any sunlight on it. It's just slowly faded.
Awesome.
That's supposed to be red.
That's awesome, dude. I am. I'm on a lot of drugs right now. I won't lie to you. I'm pumped up with insulin and all kinds of steroids and all kinds of crap. Let's see. Willie the Rat says, sorry late for the party. Just got home from my favorite local bookshop. And what my wandering eyes should appear but the PHB reprint signed and sealed in Winnipeg. Since I already have the 3 originals, I left it for some other lucky bastard to find. TLG is in the Great White North.
That is very cool. We got picked up. We're rebuilding our distribution network after I let our consolidators go last year. We separated with them after 10 years or so, and we've just been going back out. GMS, of course, over the United Kingdom, Universal in Canada, and here in the States we're ACD, and we'll expand that more after the core books come out. So more stores. We'll be able to find it in more and more stores, which is great.
Let's see.
Agreed, Manfred.
Yeah, right.
Hey, let's do the last couple of questions.
Yeah.
A very, very old friend of mine from the Gamma Trade Show days called a couple of hours ago. He's going to be in town. We're going to go to Purple Cow and have some burgers and Cokes. I haven't seen Philip. He was the president, the CEO of Steve Jackson Games for many years. Philip Reed, very, very good friend of mine. So very anxious to see him. Hadn't seen him in, it was a Gen Con 216 or something. I'm not sure when was the last time I saw him.
Okay. Anchor 89 says, shoot, late to the party. Did I miss when the backer kit will open to upgrade my pledge? For which Kickstarter?
Yeah, it's only open for one. That's the Hermit. And Chuck is working on the Reforged. Probably 3 weeks from now, we'll do the Reforged, and then you can adjust your pledges there.
And then we'll have another one after that, and another one after that, and another.
He's on a walkabout, Jeremy, which is great. He's traveling the country, and remembered I lived in Little Rock, so gave me a call about 3-4 hours ago, and super excited.
That's awesome. Let's see. Beaky Mall, last question we've got in the queue. What would you like to see me run for Gary Con? I'm up for suggestions before I submit my session. Beaky Mall, if you'll email us at here at Endless World, so you can get a hold of me. If you need some materials, I'll get them for you. I'd like to see if I can get you to run probably the Hermit or maybe Yigsburg or something from both of those. You can't obviously run the whole adventure. None of these, you know how it is with con games. But
yeah,
we'll get you something, Just hit me up. Oh, wow. Look at see. Over on YouTube, Tillowitz says, eagerly awaiting the new PHP in print. Can't wait to have it in my hands. CNC campaign will hopefully begin in January. Exciting days ahead for CNC. Will the white box ever be updated to such a reforged books?
I think so. We can't ever decide. We've had this conversation a half dozen times.
Yeah.
Around here, not in the queue, but I think it is. It's been such a stalwart thing. We've got the starter set coming out in March, and then but I think we're going to revive the white box and just keep it going. It launched, not this version, but a white box launched Castles and Crusades, and I feel like it'd be kind of cool to keep that rolling. But we'll have to get new boxes made, and that is proving to be a little bit problematical these days. So we will see. If Dakota has his way, we'll buy a giant warehouse and start manufacturing all this crap ourselves.
Yep.
So,
and that reminds me, we had All right, then. I think that's it. I don't think. Let me see if we got any other questions in queue. I don't think we do, but I want to make sure real quick.
Dun dun dun.
Nope. I think we're clear to go. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I am going to attempt to stream in the morning. If I don't show up, that means I didn't wake up because this COVID's got me really sleepy. But
Chuck decided to get COVID, so
yeah, I was bored. I went out to the COVID store, picked some up. It's great.
The COVID store.
Yeah, you need to, Jeremy. You got to get on that tournament scenario. That's right, for Gary Con. We got a tournament for Gary Con. I knew we were going to do. But anyway, I think that's it. I think we're going to raid out of here or leave out of here. And we'll catch you guys if I'm on in the morning. If not, I will see you probably Thursday in the afternoon. All right. Hey,
Sean
thanks a lot,
O'Donnell,
Charles.
that is a fantastic question. If you can post that in the Steve section of Discord, if you're over on Discord, I will answer it this evening or in the morning. That is a very, 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 very good question and a poignant. But we got to jump out of here right now, or bring it back up. I think I'll be on Thursday. I know the trolls will, but I'm not sure I'll be here or not. It's 50-50. Things are crazy. But,
things are nuts. It's at this time of year, it's going to get worse too. All right. Well, I think that's all we got. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming out. We really appreciate all your patronage and support. You just don't know how much it means to us, really.
Absolutely. Thank you all.